गाइस और कैसे हैं आप सब। आई होप आप सब बढ़िया होंगे, मैं भी एकदम बढ़िया। सो स्टार्ट टुडेस पैट क्वेश्चन एंड द नेम ऑफ दिस पैट क्वेश्चन इज फ्रेशर्स पार्टी. Consider a scenario where freshers party is given by the seniors to the juniors in VIT Chennai. Seriously? Okay, wait. Consider a scenario. Okay. Imagination. There are a few students who has been allocated to calculate the total expense of the party and overhead on one student of the organizing team. Write a program for the structured fresher party with the member item name, quantity, and price. Suppose there are 100 students in the organizing team and then the total expenses will be divided by the number of students to get the expenses by one student. Okay. Ask the organizing committee to enter the item name, price, quantity, and total number in organizing team. Finally, display the total amount spent and per member expense. So basically in this question we have been given total number of items, and for each item we have to input its price and the quantity in which the item was brought. And after calculating the total amount spent by multiplying price with quantity, you will get the total amount spent for organizing this party. And at the end, we will be given the total number of members present inside this party, and we have to find per member expense. Per member expense will be found by dividing total amount spent by total number of members present inside the party. So let's start today's part question. So here, let's start writing the code. So first of all, we'll create a structure named as event, inside which we'll store the quantity of the particular item and the price of that particular item. So I'm going to create a structure, struct structure event. Inside this, quantity QUA and then integer price. So inside the structure, I'll store all the details for each of the items. Those are quantity and price. Now I have to take input for the number of items present, inside the party. So integer n, scanf, %d, comma, and n. Now I'll run a for loop. Now I'll run a for loop to take all these entries for int I equal to 0, for I less than n, and increase the value of I after each iteration. But before that, I have to define the structure event, struct structure event, inside this main function. Structure event, structure event st wait a minute structure event st, which will contain exactly n number of entries. The structure event will contain exactly n number of entries, and I have abbreviated it with st. Okay, so let's take the input. Scanf %d, comma, and sti dot QUA in quantity, and the next input will be for the price of the item, sti dot price price. So using these two lines, I'm going to take all these inputs, running a for loop for the number of times the number of items present inside the party, and %d. In the first line, I'm taking two inputs, the quantity and the price of the particular item for each item. From here, I have to calculate the total amount spent. The total amount spent will be calculated by multiplying quantity with the price for each of the items. So I have to create a variable named as sum, and for each time it takes an input, define sum equal to 0, and for each time it takes an input, increase the value of sum with sti.quan, that is the quantity of the particular item multiplied by its price, sti dot price. So using this, I'm going to calculate the total amount spent to buy all those dishes and to organize the party. So I found it, so using this sum, I'll find the total amount spent, and at the end I have also been asked to take an input named as total number of members present inside the party. Total, like, members, 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 scanf, person d, comma, and members. So members will store the total number of members present inside the party, and dividing this with the total amount spent will give me the per member expense. So total amount spent with per member expense. Okay, wait a minute. Expense dividing it with the total amount spent will give me the per member expense. So expense expense equal to sum divided by members. So print f percent d backslash n percent percent d comma total amount spent, that is sum, and per member expense, that is expense expense. expense. So now let's check the code that our code is correct or not. First of all, we have taken input the number of, or we have taken the input the number of dishes present inside this party. Next, we have created a structure to store the quantity of the dishes, for the quantity of each of the dish and the price of each dish. After then, we have multiplied the quantity and price for each of the particular item to calculate the total amount spent to buy all those items that will be placed, that were put inside the party. And then I've taken input the number of members present inside the party and divided it with the total amount spent to buy all those dishes to get the total to get the per member expense. So now let's run this code and check it is correct or not. Three entries, three dishes, one space 200, quantity 1, price 200, 2 space 300, quantity 2, price 300 per item, 3 space 400, quantity 3, price 400, and the number of members are 8. So the total expense, the total amount spent to buy all those dishes are 2000, and the total per member expense is found by dividing 2000 with 8. So the per member expense is 250 rupees. So we can see here that we have found the two outputs that we were asked to find out here in this part question, that are total amount spent and per member expense. So what we basically did in this question is, first of all, we have taken input the number of dishes present inside the party. After then, we created a structure named as event to store the quantity of each dish and price of each dish. And after then, we have taken the quantity and price of each dish, and at the same time we have multiplied the quantity with price for each particular dish and added it to the variable named as sum to find the total amount spent to organize the party, means for total amount spent to buy all those dishes. And after then, we have taken input the number of members present inside the party, and then we have divided it from the total amount spent to get per member expense, and at the end we have printed the per member expense and the total amount spent. So this was quite a easy question for today's PAT question. I hope you must have liked my way of explanation. Do share it with your friends who are not able to solve this PAT question. So this was all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day. Keep learning, keep coding.